Hey, and welcome to Matt and Jess TV. I am Matt
And
Roast.
I'm Jessica Bun Bun.
This is our Poker Face Season 2, Episode 10 reaction and review. Who's ready to go to the gym, ready to pump some iron?
This is my least favorite episode. I thought that it wasn't going to get worse than Gator Done, but here we are. I am not interested in gym content at all. I am over all the milk drinking content. We've seen it on the Mayfair Witches. We've seen it done the best on the boys. So if you can't do it better than the boys, you need to not be doing it. And it doesn't matter to me if this is like something that happens or doesn't have none of it matters to me. If you're going to be doing it and you're going to be going for that like weird gross out factor, it has to be better than the boys.
Okay, so I'm a little higher on this episode than you. I'm not so high on it that it's like, oh, it's in my top five. Like, to me, the worst episode of this season is the con episode that had John Cho and Melanie Linsky. Then
I
it's
like that better than
then it's a tie between Gator Dunn and this episode, where I feel like they both, this and Gator Dunn, had some moments, but it's just like they were also tonally a little too silly for the rest of Poker Face. Where yeah, I like humor, I like to laugh, but there's a certain amount of plausible deniability I'm willing to give certain cases. And yeah, we'll get more into the milk as we go through this video, but it's just, to me, the biggest sticking point in this entire story. And I say this is not a gym guy. I mean, look at me. Do you think this is a gym guy? But as somebody who has been to a gym and has temporarily had a gym membership for 2 months before I realized, what am I doing here? This is not my life. I know that you cannot do those bench presses without a spotter. The idea that everybody's just going to buy that Jason Ritter went over and did this without a spotter and it's fine. It's like, if I know this, then nobody is going to believe this.
Yeah, it was a hard to believe episode. I mean, the highlight was Method Man. He's great, but he wasn't given very good material. And I feel like he was a bit wasted on this for a guy that has such talent, that on a show that's typically really good, that this is the episode that he's given.
All right, well, we'll get into the highs and lows of this particular story on Poker Face, but before we go any further, be sure to hit that subscribe button because, yeah, we are going to have more coverage here on Poker Face through the rest of this season. There's really not that much left. Let's hope for some really good, perhaps good buddy related content before we get to the end here.
Absolutely, but we do have some other shows coming up here really soon. We're going to be covering Dexter 3 times a week here. That's coming up in just a few weeks. It's not that far off now, so hit that subscribe button and stick with us. And over on our Patreon right now, we're covering Criminal Minds Evolution along with Murderbot, 2 really great shows. It's the only place that you can get those weekly reviews, so I'll leave a link for you below if you want to, head on over there, help support us, and get some more great TV.
Okay, I'll start here by at least saying one of the things that I did really enjoy about this episode is that anytime apparently a record is broken at this gym, you have Method Man's voice coming on and he's just like, oh, looks like a new record. It's what is this Gym Skynet thing going on here? Listen, once again, not a huge gym person. If this ever happened at a gym that I was at, I would just walk right back out the door. I would be that Simpsons gif, putting the hat on, putting the hat back up, and then just taking off. It's like, what? I don't need them spying on me.
Yeah, I'm not interested in being part of something where everybody knows everybody's workouts, what their records are, what is going on. I understand it's sort of like the other episode with, oh, all the stars and, at grade school, oh, you're doing well. Let's give you praise for it. Here's a leaderboard,
Yeah.
all that type of stuff. But I mean, as an adult, I don't really need that. However, I'm also not in the gym circuit. I'm a non-athlete. I like to sit on my couch. I'm in my old lady era. I want to sit on my couch. I want to go to bed at a reasonable hour. I do not want to exercise. That is not for me. But I also don't want to share what I'm doing with a whole bunch of other people that I'm just working out with. Like, I get that there's like a group there that are a bunch of buddies, but there's also people there that aren't, that are just there working out. We saw that there's all walks of life at Brick's gym.
Yeah, there's a part of this episode that reminds me of a less good version of the movie Dodgeball, where they really tried to establish throughout Dodgeball, beyond just if you can dodge a wrench, you can dodge a ball, they also tried to establish that the people at Average Joe's gym was kind of a family, right? And they try to reinforce there's a little bit of a family atmosphere going on here, but I think the reason why it doesn't work as well is that, yeah, the tone doesn't match Poker Face. Also, there's not enough time to get to know all these individual people.
Yeah, I agree. I think that that was part of it as well. Is you've got this group of guys that Brick is working with, and he's sort of selling on the side milk, and that's it, baby's milk, and that's the big, shocking twist here that it's not actually drugs or anything else. That's what it is that they're all consuming to bulk up. And then you've got Rodney, who's like, "Man, I've been coming here for a year. I'm not seeing any gains. I'm about to go to my high school reunion. It's coming up. I knew it would be coming up. I've been working out for so long. I need to see gains. The person who used to pick on me in high school, he's a firefighter and he's going to be there. So he's going to be all bulked up. So I need to be bigger than what I am. So whatever you're giving those guys, I want it as well."
Okay, I do feel kind of bad for television's Jason Ritter in this episode because, like, Rodney did not deserve this. I'm gonna make that very, very clear. His character was also kind of annoying because it was just there's not a lot to this guy other than that he's an inspector. He wants
Mhm.
gains. He's upset he's not getting the gains, and then lo and behold, he ends up dying in an accident after finding out some of the truth about this child's milk situation, which in one of the riskiest Google searches I have ever done, I
Yeah.
had to look up whether, because I wanted to know if this was real or if this was apparently. This is actually a thing that is disputed within the bodybuilding community where there is no direct evidence that this actually helps you, but there are a lot of people who swear by it. So there you go. I have saved all of you a very risky Google search at your jobs. You do not have to do it now because I have done it for you.
Yeah, I understand that people want to bulk up and look like whatever, but certain lengths, I just don't know why there isn't a line with that. Like, if you're a grown man and this is what you're doing,
Yeah.
like, is it worth it that you have to like admit that this is what you're doing? You're behaving like a baby and, drinking this milk. Like, it's so weird. And it's not even your own mother, it's some random woman. Like, it's so weird. Like, you need to really find God. Go touch grass. Like, you will be okay if you don't have that extra gain because you haven't taken a random woman's milk.
Okay, this is another part of it. Since we're giving takes now on bodybuilding, does anybody ever need to be this big? Like, really, unless you're doing, I don't know, your professional body.
Shows.
Yeah, unless you're
Yeah.
doing shows. What's the point of this? Because it's just like, I don't know a lot of people who look at these ultra ripped people, men or women, and are like, you know what? That's the body type I'm really, really into. Like, I'm so attracted
Yep.
to like bulging muscles all the time. It just is like, okay, there are limits to everything in life, people.
No women in my circle throughout my entire life have ever been interested in men that look like this. And, I remember when my brother was sort of in that circuit, he wasn't in it for very long, but I know that he was single when he was doing it. And when he stopped and some of that came down, he met his woman. So I don't know. It just, I don't understand it, but that's okay. It's not for me to understand. Everybody got to live their
Yeah.
life, but you know what? Leave women's milk alone. Can you just stop that? It's so creep show.
I think maybe there is a part of this where it's just because we don't understand the modus operandi of these bodybuilders that this whole episode is maybe just not for us. I just found that in general, I'm willing to buy into a certain amount of craziness with this show. I mean, there's a reason why I enjoyed the entire school episode as much as I did. It was kind of ridiculous, but it still felt as in a weird way grounded enough that I could buy into it. But it's
Mhm.
just sort of like you can have one or two of these things. You can't have all these milk obsessed people and then also Rodney die via bench press and have none of these bodybuilders be like, oh, it's interesting that this scrawny man went over to the bench press, which it doesn't feel like a guy like Rodney's doing a lot of bench press in the first place, but then not also having a spotter. It was just everybody, and I guess maybe this was the point that they were all just so obsessed with, oh, I got to get back to my gains and oh, blah, 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 bro, that they were just like, I don't really care about the truth, but it just feels like no reasonable person would have bought this.
I agree. Like, we end up in this situation where Rodney realizes what Brick is doing, and because he's a health inspector, he's like, drugs, I could have dealt with that. This is an actual problem. You shouldn't be doing, and he shouldn't be doing this. His wife is like stealing the milk from a clinic to bring it back to sell to these guys. Like, none of this should be happening. Yeah, it's hard for me to believe that Rodney would ever be doing something like this without a spotter. He's been at this gym for a year.
Yeah.
So even if he's not part of the group that's all drinking the milk, they all know Rodney. He's been there every day for a year. So if they've seen him working out, even if they're in their little milk group and obsessed with their own gains, I'm sure they've noticed that he's never done anything without a spot, and they've done nothing with that. It would just be like, this is weird. Like,
Yeah.
at one point one of them is going to say something.
Yeah, I just don't buy the idea. It's, oh, it was a gain emergency, bro. I had to go and do this bench press right now. This episode is ridiculous. I mean, having Charlie eventually, show up, it is interesting. This is another episode where she's actually kind of in the same place, the same neighborhood. Like, I did like
Mhm.
that part of things kind of as we get close to the end of the season. The producers are like, okay, we're gonna still make this procedural, but we're also gonna kind of shift the format a little bit where Charlie's in a really big place. And I think she still thinks, even after everything with the whole rent control disaster, it's like maybe she'll be surrounded by so many people, she will eventually just disappear and stop being involved in other people's problems.
Yeah, she's still at Good Buddy's place, which is really cool. I like to see that she's actually staying in the same place, but she wakes up in the morning and she's takes a big yawn and her neck goes out. I was like a year ago just dancing in my backyard to living on video, and I swung my hips and boop, gone. And I ended up at the same sort of place where I was seeing, somebody who was cracking my back to make it all better or whatever. And that's how she gets involved. And it's good to see that she is still in the same place. But what I'm not enjoying, and it's no offense to the actress that's playing Alex, I just don't like the Alex character. It felt like she's kind of come out of nowhere. Hey, I'm just buying you a coffee to pay it forward for no reason. Okay, that's fine or whatever. And now they've met up again, and now they're going to the gym together. And I see that Charlie's trying to pull back a bit because it's kind of like, oh, everybody I meet up with ends up dead or ends up in a horrible situation. Maybe I should step back from having any good buddies. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? But I'm just not interested in this character. And I'm definitely not interested in them when there's like, what, 2 episodes left?
I think for me, if you had just taken out Alex and put the actual good buddy character in that role, and we were actually getting Buscemi for these final episodes, like
Yeah.
I would be fully on board with that because that's at least okay. They have a built-in relationship. We've
Mhm.
sort of seen them discuss things over time. It's already his place. It would make sense for him to be there. I don't know if this is their saving Buscemi because we don't know if he's going to be appearing at the end of the season, next season, whatever. And they're just like, okay, maybe we only have him for so many episodes if we even have him. But I like the idea in theory of Charlie having a friend. It just this friend doesn't particularly work for me because she doesn't really add anything to Charlie that we don't already know about Charlie. It's just like I'm selfishly watching the show for her and her journey. And it's like, if we're going to introduce somebody else to complement her, I want it to actually impact Charlie in a little bit more of a way than Alex is.
Yeah, Alex is just really odd, and there's something that's not fitting in right. Like, I know Charlie's like, everything you've told me is the truth. Like, you're just a truth teller, and, maybe that's why you don't have that many friends and you're lonely, sort of thing, because not everyone wants to hear the truth all the time, and you don't even tell little white lies. And, yeah, that's kind of interesting. But there just isn't a friendship connection here. Like, if you're going to bring a friend in, bring in Dee Dee from the apple orchard all the way back in episode 1. Like, it felt like that relationship was building up and it was like a real friendship. And here it's just, here's a random coffee just because, I don't know, I'm giving coffees to strangers. And now all of a sudden they're working out, and it's not working. It is not working. This whole episode didn't work.
Yeah, I feel like we're going to get to a place this season where we probably will see Good Buddy, and maybe that will work a little bit better than everything that we had here with Alex. It just like this episode, a lot of Poker Face episodes are predictable, obviously. And it's
Of
just
course.
like we have to get to the point where the killer ends up being unmasked. And it's like the only thing that I thought that was super interesting about all of that was like, oh, the high stakes sauna situation where it's like, of course, this guy's gonna try to, kill somebody in the sauna. But then we were reliant on Alex's character, who, I don't really care about that much, to try to find a way to save the day. And it's just, to me, I like it even better when Charlie herself saves the day, and I know that she was kind of resourceful enough to get the message to Alex, but still, it didn't connect fully. Like I said at the start, like I enjoyed this episode a little more than you did, but it's still not my favorite. It's not even in the top half of this season. It's just I saw it, I had a couple of laughs, a couple things didn't make sense, and then I'm moving on.
Yeah, I just feel like they tried to take some big swings, but they're big swings that other shows have already done and they've done better.
Yeah, and it's ultimately a situation here where Poker Face, I think I've said this before, it's like an episode of SNL where it's like some sketches are really, really good. You'll love them. You'll watch them on repeat. Some sketches, you're just like, I'm never going to watch these again. And that's what happens when you come up with a different idea every single episode. And
Yeah.
that's not an easy thing to do at all.
I will say that I am enjoying the potato peeler that's sitting outside of Good Buddy's place. I want to know why she's doing that as well. I know she's not going to tell anybody, and that's fine. That's the mystery. But if that's the mystery I'm the most interested in this episode, that's not good.
No, that's not good. I mean, maybe potato peeler is going to be a big part of episode 11. Like I have no idea,
Yeah.
but that is where we are coming out of episode 10 of Poker Face season 2. But did you enjoy this jaunt through the gym a little bit more than we did? Like, let us know in the comments. Hit that subscribe button for more Poker Face, and yeah, support us further by joining our Patreon. That link is in the description below. We're covering exclusively there Criminal Minds Evolution in addition to Murderbot. Thank you so much. We'll
Thank
see you
you.
here next time.